Hey everybody, this is Lucy again at Paper Glitter Glue, and I'm going to show you how to make my little twisted trees. This is a twisted tree tutorial, which is kind of a tongue twister. These are the supplies you need. I like this collage medium because I can just dip my hand in it and apply the glue really easily. But you can use any white glue. I use packing paper, and I just pulled this out so I can show you that it has a grain, so it's really easy to tear in strips, well, sorta, in this direction. So, packing paper. I use wire. You can pick any kind of wire. I have this 20 gauge left over from making bottle brush trees, but you can use, you know, other wire that you've got around. Some people even use wire that's coated wire that they get at a home improvement store, but I like the plain wire. Wire cutters, twig for inspiration. You really can't use these on your houses because, or on your crafts, or rather I don't use them on my crafts just because they're kind of fragile and they break easy. But I do use them to give me an idea of how the branches grow on the little twigs. Okay, so these are the 3 sizes of wire I usually cut. I usually do a longer one, and I usually do it longer than I need. If you look at most of my trees, this was an early tree. The body is about 3.5 to 4 inches long because that works so well with my little houses. And I'll show you one of the houses with a tree attached. This is called the Harlequin house, and you know, you can see the body of the tree really is about between 3 and 4 inches. And I have to make it a certain way so that it'll fit on the base of my houses, but you don't necessarily have to do that. I usually leave one side kind of blank so I can put it up against the house. Okay. So next I wanted to show you how I actually make the strands. So I get some of my strips and I get my collage medium, and then I kind of put it on my finger, get it started at one end, and I take the little, the wire, and then I just kind of wind it around and just keep going around. And you can keep applying the glue. You don't really need it except so much at the ends, but sometimes it kind of rolls better if it's a little bit wet with the glue, so every once in a while I add more glue. And you can just kind of twist it. You have to be careful when you're working that you don't, if you rotate it, that you don't whop yourself in the eye with the wire, because we do not need a corneal abrasion from crafting, or from anything really. A little more. And I wrap it kind of tight, and I'll be adding several layers together, several of these paper covered wires together to form the trunk, so it's okay if it's kind of thin. Let's see, I don't like that little flattened area there, so I just keep twisting it, and a lot of times I leave a little bit of wire at the end, which I'll cut afterwards. And I don't really measure. I'd have to be honest with you about this. I'm not really a measurer. I'm kind of a eyeball it and, oh, that's good. But that's just kind of the way I do my little crafty stuff. The houses I measure a little bit more. Get a little bit on here, and if I got too much on my finger, then I just kind of roll it along the wire. And I like the ends to taper, because if you look at our little twigs, the ends generally taper some. And so that is one of them. So I'm going to get several together. Let me pull some of these up here that I've pre-done. These have already got a branch to them. And these are just some plain ones. Let's just get a couple of plain ones together. And you can either wrap them in paper again, or you can just wind them together like this. Okay, so that's one. And then I try to figure out how I want the roots to go. So let's Do it like that. That gives me a root, and I can add more paper here if I want it. Alrighty, let's add a tree, you know, one with a branch, and try to stagger it so it looks like a real tree, sort of. Mine are kind of abstract, but that's okay, because a lot of my houses are little Halloween houses, so they can be abstract and kind of creepy looking. So that's two. Let's get one more branch in here. Kind of wind this around. And I like this sort of ropey looking thing, texture to it, but I'm still going to cover it up some. So let's get a strip of paper and wrap it around. Wrap it around the tree. I hope I'm holding this where the camera can see. And I like wrinkles too, because trees are, each tree has its own personality and sort of wrinkly texture. I guess there are some pretty smooth trees, but most of the trees I know are wrinkly. Okay, so what I can tell from this one is that it needs like better root system. So let's add a root. And wait, actually I like this end better. It comes to a point better. Let's just wind this one around. One of my cats is talking to me. They're like, what are you doing? I'm trying to make a tree. What do you think? Okay, let's see how that looks. And let's get some more paper to go around. Kind of to make this root sort of merge better. It's not exactly my best root. And the only downside to this collage medium is how sticky your hands get. You have to peel it off after you're done. Okay, let's see, that's pretty distorted looking. I don't know that I like it that much. See, it'll fit up against a house, but the root looks really kind of funky. Let's see what else we need. Let's add another branch at the top. Get a longer branch. Okay, let's see. Let's add something over here. Wind this around. Let's see if we can do that. Let's get a strip of paper that'll go around it some. Like I said, I like them wrinkly. Usually I pre-wrinkle the paper. I don't think I pre-wrinkled this paper. Okay, now I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to add a little more kind of a balance here. Let's add another root to the bottom because it looks pretty goofy. And remember, it's a Halloween tree. It can look goofy. It is entitled to look goofy. More paper here. And you know, really and truly, that's basically it. So I make several lengths of wire, some with branches, some without, usually about 3 different lengths. and the little ones. And then you just kind of wind them all together with your twisted paper. And then when I'm done, I cut off the excess wire. Be sure to cut it square, perpendicular, you know, so you don't make a sharp point, because these things are definitely, see, that's actually pretty blunt. You don't want to be stabbing people. Although it's going to be on my little trees, so, I mean on my little houses, so it's not very dangerous. Okay, and I'll probably fix that up and add some more things to it. Let me show you this one. And then one nice thing about it is a lot of people make these paper bag trees. Well, this is basically the same concept, only it's got a wire in the middle, so if you want to bend it and to shape, you get to choose how to do that, and they hold their shape really well. So those are my little twisted trees, and this is the twisted tree tutorial for paper glitter glue. Okay, thank you for watching, y'all. Bye.